Sorry, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
At the very outset, let me express my apologies for coming late. And I know that the participants in an HRDC or any orientation would appreciate a person coming late, no?
No,
Because I've gone through these kinds of courses myself, and I know how difficult it is to sit on the other side. And thanks to technology, we are sitting at the comforts of your homes and your places. Just imagine you to be over here for 28 days and listening to the lectures would have been even better, I believe. Some more value addition would have happened. But anyway, now thanks to technology, as I said, and the same technology did not come to my rescue today in the department. Somehow my relationship with technology is also very scary. I always don't trust it completely, and at crucial junctures, it teaches me a lesson. So this is my interaction with the technology. Anyways, I'm really happy, and I just want to know how many of you are there any people from other side, outside Karnataka also? Just a number.
Two people, sir. From Maharashtra.
Two people, huh?
Yes.
2 out of the batch, out of around 25 are from outside state.
Sir, even I'm Dr. Nagesham, but Adre nan Mysore now, but I'm working at Central Tribal University of Andhra Pradesh, Vijayanagaram, sir.
Sorry. Most of you can understand Kannada. Even if I were to pitch in a few words here and there, I think that's going to be appreciated. I feel.
Yes, sir. Two participants are from one is from Andhra and one is from Maharashtra.
How about the composition of the disciplines? I mean, essentially social sciences. Do we have
Multidisciplinary.
So multidisciplinary.
Multidisciplinary.
So science, life science or idare, commerce or jasti idare.
Commerce
and social, sir, social science or sir. Economics idare, sir.
Economics idare. Law.
Illa, sir.
Languages.
Languages idare, sir. Library information and science or idare. Physical education or idare.
Pure science or physics or chemistry.
Idare, sir.
Mathematics, good. Before I start, just to feel the diversity of the group is only to make me feel, I am teaching to science teachers as well, because science was so scary. Therefore, we shifted to commerce and management. And I feel really proud that there are science teachers over there to listen to a different angle altogether. No? This orientation is all about looking at multiple perspectives of various disciplines, because when you look at any problem on this earth, when you look at it from multiple angles, that gives a very comprehensive understanding of a problem, and it leads to new knowledge, and it leads to innovations in decisions. With that very fine thread, I have actually been taking on the classes of this nature since a long time. To give you just a brief of what I am, apart from what my colleague has introduced, I am basically from a very remote place near border district of Karnataka by name Shidlaghatta, which is nearest to, part of Kolar district. Now it is Chikballapur, and I've taught in various, right from PU level, PU college. I've taught in degree college for a longer time, say 13 years, in places like Karkala, in places like Maharanis College, Shidlaghatta. Then I joined university in 2007, and since then, in the last 30 years, 17 years, I've been teaching at this level. And what is that is more proud of myself, that I take pride in saying, because I've seen different stages of teaching, right from PU level to the post-graduation level. Now I've been the guide also there. I've also worked as chairman. Now I'm currently the chairman BOS of business administration. And coming from that background, say Kannada medium till 10th standard, and more proud to be from government schools and having studied in government schools. All that gives me a lot of pride in saying that yes, I am also one just like you. Don't think that I am a resource person as such. I am your co-teacher. I am just there with you to share my experiences as a teacher, teaching management and commerce since 3 decades, and the kind of challenges that I have faced with the students, with other stakeholders, and in the process, trying to introduce to you some interdisciplinary angle. You said you are all multidisciplinary as a group. Just take up some problem that is issues with commerce and management, and try to see how it is connected to economics, how it is connected to law, how it is connected to the language, the literature, and all that part. I would like to have that comprehensive, and also drive home a point to all the teachers over there that knowledge is always an integration of various disciplines. Knowledge will never come when you are in watertight compartments. This I really see in my tenure as a BOS chairman. Now people saying that this is my subject, this has to be taught by me, this has to be by economics people, and this has to be all those kinds of watertight arguments that I listen. But when you look beyond that and look at the problem as a whole, the holistic understanding that you get out of it, and the value that you are going to deliver inside the classroom, that matters the most. We are here, teachers, to deliver value to the students more than anything else. That is our primary job. When you keep that in your mind and take away all these this is my subject, this is my compartment, that is your compartment, then probably we are doing a great injustice to the students' community as well. Let us see. It is just going to be a discussion as such. I am now going to share my screen. Share Allah. Hope we are able to see.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is the topic that I have set for myself. Interdisciplinary dimensions in teaching and research. Because I feel teaching and research go in hand. They're the two faces of the same coin, but still, I would like to put more word for teaching rather than research. For different reasons, I'll just discuss that with you towards the end. Now, this will be my outline of my presentation. I'll be just talking about what is interdisciplinary in a setting where we have in social sciences, and then take up an example of a corporate example and try to look that particular corporate problem, a research problem, or could be a teaching problem from multiple perspectives. So since we have economics teachers over here, since we have people who teach humanities and commerce and management, basically, essentially more of commerce and management, I hope that I'll be using a language which is going to be understood even for a person who is not from all these backgrounds. Yes, what is interdisciplinary? See, you are trying to integrate various perspectives, different information, data, and techniques, and blend 2 or more disciplines in order to enhance your advanced understanding of a problem and come out with those solutions which are beyond the possibilities of a single discipline or a single area of study. And such approach is based upon a conceptual model that integrates theory frameworks from across disciplines. See, I am just now going to put it only to the social sciences as such, because I am from social science myself. Would like to see the intricacies of the disciplinaries. I mean, disciplines, various disciplines, and then how they can be blended in order to come out with a more holistic understanding of the problem and also giving a holistic solution. Now there are why interdisciplinarity? This approach draws ideas from two or more disciplines, and these are integrated so that they produce something new and useful, and the resulting product would definitely be a contribution to all the stakeholders than a single discipline would otherwise do. And this integration requires understanding of the different assumptions, mechanisms, and different levels of analysis. As you know that similar to a painter mixing one or more colors, the basic colors, in order to come out with a completely brand new color. Now, why social sciences? Why social sciences? What has happened in the previous few decades? There is huge information, huge literature in interdisciplinary studies in humanities and social sciences. And because of the globalization, as it started, when the entire market became one market, one globe and one market, it also gives a lot of scope. People have started showing interest in interdisciplinary research in social sciences. And add to this, technology played a huge role. I'll tell you, digital revolution, which is a part of Industrial Revolution 4.0 and its extensions that we are now talking about, so many forms, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all those things, robotics and whatever. They have redefined business models like never before. Unless you understand everything as a whole, you will not be able to understand the problem as such. Now, this is the impact of the digital revolution of the technologies, because you can integrate technology to your decision making, and there will be more speed and agility in taking decisions in business. And not to forget that this once in a lifetime kind of a situation that we went through during COVID-19, and today I'm sitting here and you're all sitting there at the comforts of your homes only because of, I would say, the COVID and its extension. Because of the COVID, even teacher has gone through such a huge change. And I remember myself to be a teacher of chuck and talk mode. And from there on, when I come to University of Mysore, it was click and talk. Now it is act and talk. You should be knowing where your camera is. You should also be knowing, how the light is there on your face, and what are your, voice modulations, how it is being heard on the other side. So a teacher has become more of an actor now in front of a camera, and like true teachers, we have all embraced it. And even though there were little hiccups in the beginning, and let me tell you, after this act and talk model, teachers have become more smart. They started working on their physical fitness and their appearance also. So these are the changes, just to add little. These are the changes. It has disrupted all walks of life, and it's a game changer for social science research also. Now, there is a need now to integrate. Look at teaching and research and integrate. For us as teachers of commerce and management, understand the importance of other related disciplines, interrelated disciplines, and try to give students a much more interesting view of whatever the topic or the concept that you are teaching. Now, I would like to take on with an example. Take up a corporate example. Try to see it from different angles, so that make you understand all these disciplines are unique in themselves. And of course, you like your discipline, and you have to contribute to your discipline. You take pride in being a commerce and management teacher, but at the same time, have the same kind of love and affection towards other disciplines also. And my commerce and management teachers tell me, sir, ನಮಗೆ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಬೇಜಾರಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಆ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗೂ ನಮಗೂ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸರ್. ಯಾಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಲೋಡ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ಜಗಳ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್. Subject as such has got, we don't have any opposition with the subject. Our opposition with the teachers ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಅದು ಬೇಡ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ, ಸರ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಲೋಡು ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಮಗೆ ಮೈಸೂರು ಮಾರಣಿಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ. So many angles that they bring, they are all practical angles, no doubt about that. But somewhere down the line, we will have to look at more broader. And ಈಗ ನಾನು BVM ಓದುವಾಗ ಇದೇನು ಹೊಸದಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ NEP ಅಂತ ನಾವು whatever that we are now talking, holistic, futuristic, multidisciplinary higher education institutions ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಇದೇನು ಹೊಸದಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ. I have seen in my, as a BVM student myself, I know that when I was, our subject as such, business management as such, itself is interdisciplinary in nature, multidisciplinary in nature. ನಮಗೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಗ್ರಾಮರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಅದನ್ನ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿವ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಟಾಟ್ ಬೈ MA English and PhD, and economics used to be taught by pure economics people who have got that required qualification. Statistics ನಾವು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, MSc statistics ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಗ್ಲೇನೆ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ late 80s, early 90s, 30 years ago. Things used to be interdisciplinary in the real spirit, I'll tell you. As we progressed as teaching communities, we became compartmentalized. So the problem is with the attitude of the teachers more than the policy as such. Policy was definitely there. Now it is expressed, it came out as a document. Do you mean to say that it was not there before? It was very much there. It was in more practice, more intense practice than what it is today. Now, I'll take up an example. This is purely now a classroom kind of a discussion that I would like to make. And then,
sir, shall we discuss in between, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, sir. Please, sir. Please, sir. Please, sir. Tell me. Want to stop me now and before I start, because this is the crux that I would like to start. Shall I go ahead? Or?
I think you can go ahead, Mahesh sir. Professor
Okay.
Mahesh sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, now this is I'm taking 4 subjects, four disciplines as such. One is law, the other is commerce, management, and economics. I would like to now just give you one example as to how, when you integrate, or if you look at it in isolation, what are the differences between the two approaches? Okay, now these are the headlines that we see. Corporate, as you know, corporations we are talking about. Corporations means there is separation of, it's a business model. It is a type of a business organizations where very unique feature of a corporation is that separation of ownership and management. Owners are separate. Owners are those shareholders who buy the shares of the company, and by virtue of that they become the shareholders and then owners. They just contribute money, but who is in charge of that money, who is going to take decisions upon that money, are the managers. Separation of ownership and management. So there are two important factors of production called as capital and labor. Both of them come from different angles. They integrate together in a corporation. So this is a corporation. Means Lakshmi and Saraswati. Lakshmi from one angle, Saraswati from the other angle. Shareholders, vote for board of directors, they appoint board of directors in turn will appoint managers on the basis of their experience, expertise, and their qualification. And now owners or shareholders direct the managers to take decisions in such a way so that their value is maximized. The managers are supposed to take, the board of directors, the vice president, the CEOs, the heads of various departments are paid handsome compensation, perquisites, and everything. These are the expenses on the part of the company. Why do they expend so much? Sometimes it runs into millions, sometimes to crores. Even chartered flights are given to the CEOs, the MDs. Why is such a privilege given to them? It's a privilege given to them on their brains. They have got the best of the brains, and and the brains come with a cost attached. The quality of the brain comes with a cost attached. So therefore, so much of money is being spent on their compensation. Their job is to do what? Their job is to take decisions in the best interest of the owners. They're paid so handsomely only because of that. Do you mean to say that the shareholders do not have the brains? No. Owners, they have money. People who have money do not have brains, and the people who have brains do not have money. The capital and labor comes from two different angles. Now, it could be same for some people, but largely an organization setup is like this. People who have money don't have the time to run a business, take decisions. So they will just buy the shares, and by virtue of their shareholding, they become the owners. So now, money from one side and labor from the other side, capital from one side and labor, they integrate into a system called as a corporation, a business corporation, a big business corporation. Now you see these kinds of headlines all along, that they have siphoned off HDIL, the promoters have siphoned off 6,500 crores. Bhushan Steel's scam is around 2,000 crores. And Bhushan Steel was taken over by Tata Steel because of the fraudulent activities. Then no, everybody knows, even still, he is still at large. He has duped the bank to the tune of 13,800 crores. You just see the crores, it's all public money. What I'm talking about is this is the money that the poor public have invested their hard-earned money into the shares, the bonds, the debentures, the securities of a company. And yes, he was charge-sheeted, and we came to know that even the Punjab National Bank officials were also involved in such a crime. And he's still at large. He's going to be deported very soon. And then Gitanjali Group, you just look at the numbers, numbers are in crores of public money. Then Religare, I'm just taking the headlines over here. Manpasand Beverages, Enron was the giant of all the scandals. It happened in the early 2000s, and it shook the world by surprise. Nobody never expected that a scandal of this magnitude and intensity would be there in America, which is supposed to be, legally and administratively very strong. But unfortunately, it opened up all the loopholes in the American corporate system. Then, yes, Satyam, everybody knows it is called as India's Enron. Satyam is called as India. All the people in the media were very, very happy to write the copy saying that 1 + 1 = 11, Satyam equation. All that is there about Satyam is Asatyam. Let us get into those models. The Volkswagen it is called as, common man's car. And it was amidst a big controversy with respect to the carbon emissions in America. I will come to that small little details at a later stage. And then can this kind of a discussion complete without the great Vijay Mallya's case? And whenever I discuss this case in any audience, the audience are divided. Still, there are some fans for him. Though he's supposed to be a game changer, he was a man with a Midas touch, and all good adjectives, sikkavada adjectives, gunavachakali ಈಗಲೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. But ಎಷ್ಟು loss ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು public money. Then this is a dirty pill, Ranbaxy is dirty pill. They used substandard chemicals in the manufacture of medicines that was administered to AIDS-savaged South African country. They were caught. Even for a social cause, also people are making misusing public money. Then, as recently as a few years ago, there was again another scam in the S Bank. Then Cox and Kings. The list goes on and on. Ambani's. If one Ambani is doing a great job, the other Ambani is in real danger. You can just see how Mukesh's empire is growing and how Anil's empire is shrinking when you look at the graph. Then just see why it has happened. He is into too many. We have lots of economic theories and talks about don't get into too much of diversification. And even if you were to go for too much of diversification, be very clear with how are you going to fund them. All those theories I'll come. Now, last year, before last year, even Mukesh Ambani, in spite of being a successful, he was also accused of insider trading. Now, this is a real, corporate frauds. We call them as we call them as corporate wrongdoings. It happens in kinds of companies where management and owners are two different entities. Owners do not know anything about what is being happening in the company. They just put their money, but they buy the shares of that company, hoping that their money would grow. It will create value for them. And their hard-earned money is invested into the shares as a mode of investment. And these people who sit on that money become very negligent and extravagant and try to take decisions in their personal behalf, not in the interest of the owners. This is the crux. This is exactly what we would like to do. This is the outline. Moral hazard is on the rise. There are the people who are committing, getting into unethical standards of behavior is getting, it is growing over the years. Lemons are all over the place. I'm using the word lemons. This is a word which is being used by, in certain economic theories, I'll come to that. Lemons is a word which describes any person or an institution with malified intentions of looting public money are called as lemons. Do you mean to say lemons exist only in corporates? No. If you go by whatever is theory, these are all Nobel Prize award winning theories that I'm going to now talk about from now on. Economics and pure economics. There are economics people over here. I'm very happy to get the feedback once the session is over. Now, I'm just taking only those points which are relevant to corporations, because Nobel Prize winning award means they have got universal application. That's just for nothing they will not get Nobel Prize. Now, even lemons, dysfunctional behavior. You tend to behave or get into those activities which is going to give you reward. And when times become distressed, is it a time ripe for lemons? I was discussing this, one of the teachers from, I remember, from Pune, some economic school, she said, sir, COVID times do breed lemons, but don't you think that it's a time where these lemons are also weeded out? A very pertinent question that she asked, and I'm just putting that as a question mark so that we can discuss at the end which is true, whether during distressed times unethical practices thrive even more, or during times of distress, is it the merit that is going to prevail? Is one more viewpoint. And this is what Adam Smith said, 1776, 250 years ago. 250 years ago. See, because he is called as father of economics, he's got such a duralochane, ಎಷ್ಟಿತ್ತಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ದೊಡ್ಡವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವರ ಮಾತುಗಳು ಇವತ್ತು ಕೂಡ ಕಿವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಗುಯ್ಗುಡ್ತವೆ. Only because nobody thought about that these things could happen. But Adam Smith smelled 250 years ago. You're talking about corporations. Now, the directors of such companies, they are managing somebody else's money, not their own money. If it is your own money, you are very careful because it is your hard-earned money. But when you sit on somebody else's money, there is a chance of negligence and profusion in the management of affairs of such a company. People can misuse, because there are thousands and lakhs of shareholders. They're all spread across. They don't poke their nose into the affairs of the management of the company. They trust these people, hire these people and put them. But will these people be acting true to whatever that they are supposed to do, or will they resort to making fortunes for themselves at the cost of the shareholders? His,
Sir, I have one question.
yes, sir. Yes, madam.
Sir, in Arshad Mehta case, so we will how we can consider who is the lemon?
Arshad Mehta himself is the level, because at that point in time, whatever loopholes that he had in the banking system, he was able to, I mean, abuse that loophole and make fortune for himself. And in the
No,
process,
sir, even the banks and all know the
they're all
legislation,
lemons.
rules and
They
regulations.
they also.
But still,
No,
my perspective, he use his knowledge in very smart way.
Sankrama, I'm just now going through the entire process. So Arshad Mehta is one lemon that we are talking about.
Yeah.
If you look at Lemon's theory as such, he also quotes, since we are all teachers, he says anybody who is into dysfunctional behavior, say for example, as teachers, can a teacher be a lemon?
Oh,
Teaching is such a noblest profession, no?
yes.
But if a teacher always tries to perform only to the measurable standards, not in the interest of creating value to the students, he calls them as lemons. He calls it as dysfunctional behavior, because you're interested only in amassing academic grade points, and you're publishing, say, 20 articles, 25 articles a year. You'll attend, say, 50 to 60 symposiums, and where is the time to take the classes for them? I ask when I go for these committees, selection committee or advanced career
That's great.
committee,
That's really great and appreciable. That's
I ask them, when did you get the time to take classes? If you're doing so much of research activity, you've produced so many PhDs. It is called as dysfunctional research. None of the profession is, is an exemption. In every profession, we see these kind of things happening. That is the reason we started with the premise saying that moral hazard is on the rise, dysfunctional behavior. I go to these kinds of interviews. Sometimes people come with two suitcases of publications, and if you give them a topic and you just deliver, they don't stand and deliver. So therefore, things are there in every profession, and our profession is also not an exception. Let me go through that. Now, these are the theories. These are the theories that agency theory is one. It's a theory by Jensen and Meckling, who talks about what are the chances when owners and managers are separate, they don't exist together, and managers' behavior is not supervised closely. They tend to make mistakes. What are the likely kinds of mistakes? He talks about it in 1976. This paper came, and then contract theory. This got Nobel Prize in Economics in 2017. Oliver Hart. He talks about dysfunctional behavior, and then information asymmetry. They're all economics. So the economics is a root. I would say this is the mother of all social sciences, and we are all offshoots of it. As a commerce and management, we are the offshoots of economics, and I'm proud to say that. And market for lemons, quality uncertainty. And you're looking about products and services as such in corporates. There are market for lemons. And how do the market for lemons operate, and how long it will exist? We'll talk about that. We call it as information asymmetry. Then Modigliani and Miller, capital structure theory, which talks about when a company is formed, how much should be outsiders' money, how much should be owners' money? What is the proportion? How much should be debt? ಸಾಲ ಎಷ್ಟಿರಬೇಕು? ಒಂದು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ಗೆ ಸಾಲ ಎಷ್ಟಿರಬೇಕು? ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಪ್ರಮೋಟರ್ ಇರ್ತಾನಲ್ಲ, ಅವನು ಎಷ್ಟು ತರಬೇಕು? ಓನರ್ಸ್ ಮನಿ ವರ್ಸಸ್ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. And then he talks about diversification. Whenever there is a business diversification, how should we fund that business? Very, very clear-cut, well-established, well-researched, and Nobel Prize winning theories, M&M and contract theory are Nobel Prize winning theories. So, and traditional trade-off theory. These are some of the theories background that I'm going to take up before I explain the corporation behavior, the behavior of the corporates, because our job is to look at, say, how did it interest me? Let me tell you, I was teaching a paper called as Ethics in Business. And there, how businesses manipulate the balance sheets and how they manipulate accounting records. Then the very first example was Enron. Second example, Nam Satyam. ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಓವರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಿಗರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ only in accounting they manipulated the entire business. So therefore, this is an accounting scandal. Whoever who studies accounting should go through this case study. ಇದು ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ನೋಡಿದೆ ನಾನು, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅವರು ದೇ ವರ್ ಡೈಸೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಎನ್ರಾನ್ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಎ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾತಿತ್ತು, if you call Enron as an accounting scandal, it is like looking at the tip of the iceberg. Accounting came very late. By then all the damage has been done. ವೆಂಟಿಲೇಟರ್ ಇಟ್ಟು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಅದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಡೆತ್ ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ವೆಂಟಿಲೇಟರ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್. ಬಟ್ ಒರಿಜಿನಲ್ ಕಾಯಿಲೆನೇ ಬೇರೆ. ಅದು ಯಾವುದು ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ವಯಲೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಥಿಯರಿ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ವಯಲೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಥಿಯರಿ, ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್. ಏನ್ ಥಿಯರೀಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಲ್ಲ, ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಅವರು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು, ಅಪ್ರೆನ್ಷನ್ ಇತ್ತು, ದಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್, ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಡ್. ನಾಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಕೇಮ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಲೇಟ್.
ಸರ್, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಸರ್, ಅಡಮ್ ಸ್ಮಿತ್ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಮಾರಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ದಿಸ್ ಲೈಟ್ ಆನ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್ being economics teacher I gone through also. These theories I am very familiar.
Isn't it, sir? Now there are, ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ as accounting and I'm an accounting, I teach accounting, I teach finance. Now I look at only how to manipulate the balance sheet. It is not the problem. The problem is, why did the situation came to a level where you had to do the manipulation? You did the manipulation only towards the end. Loss ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಇನ್ನೇನು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ರಪ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ? ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರೋ ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ನ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಏನು? ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಪರೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಓನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ಸ್ ಕೂರಿಸಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು, ಇನ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ. ಯು ಆರ್ ದ ಗೇಟ್ ಕೀಪರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮನಿ. ಯು ಡಿಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡೂ ಯುವರ್ ಜಾಬ್. You started keeping money for yourself. You became a lemon. You showed behavior of dysfunctional behavior. ಅದನ್ನ ಬರೋಣ, ಮುಂದೆ ಬರೋಣ. ಈ ಥಿಯರಿ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಈಗ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಥಿಯರಿನು ಐ ಆಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಅ ರಫ್ ಔಟ್ಲೈನ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್. ಈಗ ಇಟ್ ಸೇಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಡಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೇ? Whenever there is a separation of ownership and management, there is a chance that the managers, because they are not being supervised on a daily basis, they are going to resort to these means. These are the means, excessive consumption of perquisites. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರೇ ತಾನೇ ಅವರು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಂಬಳ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಅವರೇ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತಾರ, ಎಸ್ ಅವರೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸಂಬಳ. You go and check in online what the top 10 CEO salaries in Indian corporation. You will find it runs into lakhs and even crores. So much of money is being paid as Infosys example is a classic example. I'll come to that later. Now manipulating earnings and dividends. Yes, all these people who showed profits more than what actually it is, then ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Maximizing the size of the firm rather than its value. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಈ ನಮ್ಮ business conglomerates, you see certain groups, especially the Ambani's groups that you see, you'll see they just go on acquiring businesses. in order to show that they're building a vast empire. Adu failure adro. Vijay Mallya case, same case. He went into excessive diversification. He was really doing well till the time he touched airline. No? He conquered everything on the earth. Maybe he thought he'll touch the sky. That was his Waterloo. Failure adruno on bidlilla. Failure seems to go to their heads. Nodi ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಒಂದು word ಇದೆ. Failure seems to go to ಒಪ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ ಬಿದ್ರು ಮೀಸೆ ಮಣ್ಣಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಾರಲ್ಲ. They just pumped in more and more money. Good money to chase the bad money ಅಂತಾರೆ. Good money to chase the bad money. They got it from the national banks, no? Very easy now. And then siphoning off of corporate assets. Illi Enron case allagli, even in Satyam case, it's a very clearly there is a fund diversion. All these promoters, what they have done is they diverted the cash flows of the business to some non-entity firms. We call them as shell firms. Ghost firms. Ghost adu ilve illa. Ghost adu. Sumne create ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ. And those firms are being managed by their own family, relatives, wife, children. Excessive diversification. See diversification, see the spelling there. Nandan student ಬರಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನ. ಸರ್ ಈ ತರ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್ ಅಂತ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ very clear, all say Modigliani and Miller very clearly says, when you go for an unrelated diversification, ನೀವು ಆ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ಗೆ ಇದುವರೆಗೂ ಹೋಗೇ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ, ಅವಾಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿ, equity funds, go with owners money, go with an IPO or an equity offering, not with loan. Don't go with debt, because it's a new business. You take time to understand the nitty-gritties of that business. So if you fund it through your own money, you will have some cushion. Time ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದು ಟೇಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆದರೆ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, you need not have to pay dividends ಅಲ್ಲ, it's owners money. You have that breathing time. ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇವ್ರು ಯಾರು ಕೇಳಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಲೋನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಹೋಯ್ತು. So either, and whenever all this happens, the entire board is packed. Do you know? It's a board of lemons. Everybody gets a due. Everybody. Whenever these decisions are taken in the board, every person in the board is a party to that crime. Partners in crime antivala now. Packing the board. And board of lemons. Anta ಇವನು ಬಹಳ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ, say Meckling and Jensen 1976 very clearly say these are going to be the consequences. And unfortunately we can see every example that I'm going to give you, all these things are very much evident there. Not at single point, all of them, a mixture of all of them. In each case. This is agency, economics ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇದನ್ನ. ಜೆನ್ಸನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೆಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನಾನು ಔಟ್ಲೈನ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. He talks about this dysfunctional behavior ಅನ್ನೋದು, it has originated from this exceedingly beautiful piece of literature in economics. I was actually, when I went through this, ನಾನು ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ PG ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ತರದೆಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ನಿಜ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು UG ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳೋರು, ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಪ್ಪ ನೀನು. ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 25 ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ 25 ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ಮಾರಣಿಸಲ್ಲಿ, ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಆನೆಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್. ಐ ನೋ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬೀಂಗ್ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡೆಡ್, ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೂತ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಟ್ರೂತ್. ಒಂದು ಇದನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಮುಗೀತು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಳೇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನೋ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ದೇವರು ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ನನಗೆ. I am now into these kinds of things. Dysfunctional behavior. ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನ್ರಿ ಇದನ್ನ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ APA ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಪಾಪ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ, ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಗ್ರೇಡ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. They will award grades to the students. They don't take classes only. And students, if you give grades and internals, they don't want classes, unfortunately. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, over a period of time, there is such a big transformation in the behavior of the students also. Most of the students have become lemons. They appreciate a teacher giving you more internals rather than a teacher who really delivers in the class and very strict in his internals. ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾನು, ಬಹಳ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. The number is going down. So as teachers, we are also a part of that. And I am not saying that I am an exception. And if it is to be blamed, the blame is equally on me. To see that all around and take a class on that, discuss that in academic platform like this, and still not being able to do anything. It is called as dysfunctional behavior. You are going to put your efforts on only those behavior which is likely to be rewarded. Now, in companies also, it has happened. People have gone into dysfunctional behavior. Then this is again lemons ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಒರಿಜಿನೇಟ್ ಆದ? ಕರ್ಲಾಫ್, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಥಿಯರಿ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್. ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಔಟ್ಲೈನ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ತರ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡೋಣ. ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇದು. ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಮಚ್ ಡೀಪರ್, ಬಟ್ ಲೆಟ್ ಮೀ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು. See, you go to a second-hand car market. You want to buy a second-hand car. You go to a market, second-hand car market, and you can see that all the cars of different sizes, models, makes, colors are all under one roof, right? He calls it as pooling equilibrium. So now the quality of the cars under that pool ranges from excellent to lemon. What is an excellent car? An excellent car is a highly qualitative car, a car which has been serviced properly, which has not ran into many accidents, and quality. Other one is a lemon, which has gone through a lot of rough driving, not properly maintained, the insurances are not being properly paid, ran into accidents, and not all those things. Lemon. But who knows it? Only the seller knows it. Buyer does not know. Now he says they are pulled into one equilibrium. And as a seller, you are not truthful about the quality of the product. You try to pitch in your product in such a way that lemons look very attractive. ಏನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ತೊಳೆದು ಪಳಪಳ ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಪಾಪ ಎಕ್ಸಲೆಂಟ್ ಕಾರು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಬೀಳಲ್ಲ. ಆಲ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಕಮ್ ಇನ್ ಗುಡ್ ಕಲರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಎದ್ದು ಕಾಣ್ತದೆ ಇದು. ಅವನು ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವನು ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ? Because he suffers from a disease called as moral hazard. He uses the word moral hazard. ಆಗೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅವನ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡೋದ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ, ಅವನ ಥಿಯರಿ ಪ್ರಕಾರ, all the cars, since they are pooled under one group and they look very similar, a lemon is able to mimic a good car. When you look at lemons and good cars, you will not be able to make a differentiation. So therefore, there will be an equilibrium price, same price for all the cars, for excellent cars also, lemon cars also. Then who are going to be upset with that price? The sellers of good quality cars, right? Now, what he says, the sellers of the good quality cars will withdraw from the market because they are not happy with the price. And in doing so, this is the crux. In doing so, they give credible signals to the market about the quality of the product. This is called as signaling. I tell this to my students in MBA. See, all of you are MBA students from Bahadur Institute of Management Science, University of Mysore, 100 years old reputation, 50 years old department. You just see the legacy that you carry out when you go out. All 7.5 CGPA, pulling equilibrium. And now one is an excellent and the other one is a lemon. And how do you get differentiated? You get differentiated by your prospective employer. He will look for the credible signals about your skill sets, about your attitude. All your mass card may look very similar, more or less similar. But what is going to differentiate? The credible signaling that you do. your performance in the interview, your attitude, your skill sets. That is going to differentiate. This is called as signaling, credible signaling. Now, what is the signaling? Now, when you talk about signaling, what happens here? Let me complete this. Then what happens? He says, all the good quality cars manufacturer will withdraw from the market and only lemons remains. And people will come to know that they are lemons and the market collapses for lemons. At the end of the day, as our all Vedas and Upanishads and Puranas say, the good will always prevail. Justice may be delayed, but will not be denied. Good will always have a market. Ultimately, the good and the merit and the quality, the ethics will prevail. Holistic theory. Now, what are the takeaways for us in corporate? And then M&M is just everything. M&M very clear is this. How much should be owner's money? How much should be debt? If you overuse debt, there is a possibility of bankruptcy. You please now check. These are all the economics theories. These are all been given by Nobel laureates. And M&M got Nobel Prize for his original position. These are all Nobel laureates. They have researched and they have come out with, yes, when you go for a new debt, be careful about the debt. Use debt so judiciously along with equity in order to maximize value to the equity shareholders. Bala careful ಆಗಿರಬೇಕಿದು. ಇದು ಮಡ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಂಡ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ಇದು. ಡೆಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಹುಷಾರಾಗಿರಿ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸಾಲ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ಸಾಲ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಲಿಮಿಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. If you go beyond that, you'll get into a debt trap. You'll become bankrupt. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಥಿಯರೀಸ್ ಹೇಳಿರೋ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಥಿಯರೀಸ್. ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ, ವಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ಗಾಳಿ ತೂರಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. So I'll give a break now because these are now, this part is going to be purely the reality part, how these theories, I'm just going to take up this at the background, these theories in the background and try to implement to these business issues in the next part, in the next session. And finally establish how economics, commerce, management and law is related. Yes, sir. I'll stop at this. The first session. I know I've gone beyond time. Let me see. Next session, I would like to kind of do a precise, because this is a theoretical one. The theoretical part, I'm very, as a teacher, to teach theory gives me immense pleasure. Anyway, now we'll connect it to the practicals in the next session.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
One question, basic question, sir. How this multidisciplinary research on research and teaching aspect is impact on career advancement? The multidisciplinary teaching and research aspect will impact on the career advancement.
Yes, sir. Career advancement.
Multidisciplinary research ಮತ್ತು ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೆರಿಯರ್ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್?
ಯಾವ ತರ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಕೆರಿಯರ್ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್.
ಸರ್, ಕೆರಿಯರ್ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್.
ಈಗ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ, ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಮೈಸೂರಿಗೆ ಸೀಮಿತವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟರ್ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನರಿ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಂಟರ್ ಡಿಸಿಪ್ಲಿನರಿ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ. They have drawn guides from all related disciplines, starting from economics, cooperation, even political science, then commerce, then management, then statistics. We're all research-wise it is connected. There they have created a board in which anyone who is interested in this integrating kind of a research, integrative research, can approach and submit their proposals, and it will be put before the screening committee, and if the screening committee deems it fit, they are going to take up further research on that, and that will be equivalent to any kind of it's not like you should have a PhD in that discipline itself. If it is in social sciences, that would be considered as equal to any PhD in your respective disciplines. And such an initiative has now been as a part of this NEP guidelines. But even before that also, I know one student who has done his MBA, who is now working in Mangalore College, I don't know whether you have friends over there. He is an MBA and he did his PhD in political science. Did his PhD in political science, and it is related to more of administration part. The management of Jilla Panchayat something. He did it, and after that he wrote a letter to the board, our board, management board, claiming that give me equivalence certificate. Give me equivalence certificate because it is related to management. But he has got it in political science. He has a PhD in political science. He wants that PhD to be equivalent in management. Then how do you address this? It came to me because I am the BOS chairman.
So relevant, sir. It's absolutely relevant, and there is no question about this. This is what is called as a academic side. We are very limited, sir. So our thought process is not wider sense.
Yes, sir.
That's what all the subjects are removed by the commerce people. Statistics they removed, the computer science they removed, economics they removed.
Statistics is still there.
They want the statistics still is there, but teaching not by the statisticians are there.
Yeah, I do agree that.
Very difficult, pathetic condition. The people who are in BOS, they whether they're having why holistic development is not their mind. They want theirs. This is simple. What I observed.